Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show coming at you today again from the great state of Florida. And very excited to be here. And wherever you're tuning in from around the world, I want to welcome you and thank you for watching and thank you for supporting the channel. And if you've been watching my channel for the last couple of months, you know what to do. Smash that like button. This helps get this content out to more people and really supports the channel. All the comments and questions, really appreciate the feedback and those that take the time to write the kind words and the questions that you have. I look forward to getting back to those as quickly as I can. And I'm going to jump straight into the content today. I am keeping an eye on the Tau trade of those of you on the Discord and those of you who've been watching the videos over the last couple of days. And I certainly did a Tau video just a few days ago. That was very serendipitous because Tau has begun to break out. I've been accumulating this since the dip down to about 165. I continue to buy more in the 265 to 285 region, and now we're currently sitting at about 309. I will look to take a little bit more profit there at about 320, just an FYI, but my upward target there is 340, which is where the about 340, where the 200 EMA on the daily is, but I have been taking profits on the way up and then buying back on any dips. All right, we're going to jump straight. We're going to look at the Tau chart a little bit later. We're going to jump straight into the news, and we've got some really interesting news out here today. And look, the title of the video is, is time running out? Is time running out? Is Tau, will we see Tau ever come back to some of those levels? Or are we just going to see it take off? And this is really important. Here, Bitcoin pump incoming. If you've been paying attention to USDT dominance, you already know the inverse correlation. Well, exactly. When USDT drops, Bitcoin price goes up and vice versa. And so you can see here that USDT has been breaking down. Meanwhile, Bitcoin has been looking to break up. So you see there's a bear channel, break down, and the inverse will happen. But this always, as you can see, when Bitcoin is up, USDT dominance is down. That's the total amount of USDT percentage that makes up the crypto market. So definitely put USDT dominance on your charts. We'll have a look at it at the end of this news cycle here. And as we go into the next article here, the interesting thing is that the market is acting eerily similar to 2021. So Bitcoin alts topped in March, alts retraced, 68%, same thing happens. And now topped in March, alts retraced. And then we need to look at what happened from August to November of 2021. Alts started to gain traction and decide to make everyone rich by November 2021. Alts are having the initial gain in traction right now. The question is, are you ready? So, obviously, we don't know if we're going to get exactly what happened in 2021, but it's very interesting correlation there. Will it play out? I do think we're going to see alts pump between now and the end of the year sometime. Obviously, got the election coming up, and there could be some volatility there, but we'll see what shakes out in the end with that. Okay, Bitcoin is up at, Tau is up at $310, so it's pushing over that there. So let's keep an eye on that. I'm looking at that 320 level to lock in some more profits, or 319, and we'll show you in the charts in a moment. A full-blown Bitcoin bull market starts when the money supply explodes. Guess what? It's breaking out. So we're seeing the money supply starting to break out here. There we go. We've got the money supply breaking out, and we've got Bitcoin. Well, obviously it's above 60,777, and so we'll see some good upside for the Bitcoin trade there. Let's see what happens. Let's see if that breaks out, and that will be absolutely fantastic. All right, so the next article that we have coming up here beautifully. Next move, 68,000. The retest is done. The MACD crossover is done. Bitcoin looks poised for another 18% surge. Certainly that we've had some bullish indicators. And I have been saying on this channel over and over, people were talking about 43K Bitcoin. etc. And I just felt that was just not going to be realistic. We would be literally going into a bear market at that point. And so I advised that it was unlikely, and I felt the local bottom was in. We had a black swan event. I just didn't see the price going lower than that while it's possible. And certainly everything that I have said so far has come to pass. And so if you've been following my trades, if you've been following on the Discord, and if you're not in the Discord yet, I am in the crypto Discord, part of the Stocks with Josh channel. You can get the links below in the description. There are a couple of plans there. My cheat sheet is in there. If you've been following my cheat sheet trades, we'll have a look at those in a moment. Certainly, the Tau trade has played out beautifully, and I expect many of the others like Render is starting to push. Banana already had a nice pump and is on a pullback, and I'm accumulating on this pullback. As you can see, if you believe in the Wyckoff accumulation structure, the whole structure at this level is considered as a reaccumulation phase, which is just before the markup phase. I do agree with that. I believe we're in a reaccumulation phase, and that we're going to go to higher levels there, and we should see some good upside. Now, we could see a little bit more downside. Before that, of course, the market can chop around a little bit, but generally speaking, let's just hope that you didn't buy the McDonald's meme coin because it was a fake. Somebody hacked McDonald's Instagram account and launched a meme coin on Solana and then rugged it for over $700,000. Absolutely unbelievable. So sometimes you can't even trust the official channels. You've got to be very, very careful out there. So McDonald's got hacked and the coin got rugged. Unbelievable stuff happening in the crypto space. But if you've been here for a while, that wouldn't shock you, of course. Now, the SUI, I'm very bullish on SUI. And SUI has more transactions than Polygon, Arbitrum, Base, and Ethereum combined this year. This is a chain that I believe I think is the closest to a Solana killer that I've seen. One of the reasons I'm a little bit more bullish on SUI for the long term is that they have a capped supply. So they can't just keep minting tokens and adding to the supply like you can on Solana, like you can on Ethereum, and like you can on some other chains that are out there. And so it's very important to note that with the SUI. Now, important to note with the SUI, some people will say, well, yeah, the tokenomics aren't spectacular because only not all the supply is in circulation. This can also flip and work in your favor because it also means the market cap can be quite small, and therefore on any pumps, it can move fairly quickly. As we saw, it went from 41 cents to $1.10, and just like that, or around about $1.10, just like that, it almost did. It almost 3x'd itself. So that's important to note. You just need to know when the unlocks are happening and be aware of big token unlocks from certain tokens that are out there. But these low float, high FDV tokens can rally pretty hard and pretty fast and do a 3, 5, 10x very quickly. So very bullish on SUI. I'm picking up some more in this 80-cent range. I do think it's going to take off and get back to that $2 very quickly. And then I think we see $10 by the end of the bull run. Okay, what else have we got here for you today? This has been a great day so far. And the altcoin speculation index is lowest point since July 2023. This is the opportunity zone. So definitely we're looking at altcoins accumulating in this range. Is time running out? It may be running out to some of these altcoins. We may not see Tau come back to these 260 levels that we had just a few days ago, even the 280s levels. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Certainly now is the time. I'm accumulating. I've been accumulating Tau. I've been accumulating Banana, Arweave, Render, and a few others that I've identified on this channel and in the Discord as well. And then obviously on my cheat sheet, I have a bunch of these coins listed, and we're going to go to my cheat sheet in a moment here. Just a little bit of bearish news here. The Bitcoin OTC disk balances soared to two-year peak. Historically, increases in Bitcoin OTC desk balances have been associated with declines in the Bitcoin prices. However, 2 years ago, we were in a bear market. So I'm not quite sure how much I'll make of this. Definitely, the Fed is Jackson Hole is talking there, and there could be some interesting developments there. We should get the dot plot from the Fed of what the expected rate cuts are possibly potentially going to be in September. So that will be very interesting. Hang on to your hats for tomorrow. That could be some fun and some volatility there. And also there's a little bit of a Bitcoin bearish divergence on the 4-hour chart here. And I also believe on the 2-hour and the 1-hour. So should we be worried about some bearish divergence? I'm not sure. I mostly look on the time frames like the daily and the weekly and the monthly. Sometimes these 1, 2, 4-hour, they can play out, but they're very small dips in relation. I'm not super concerned about this, but certainly Bitcoin had a nice pump over the last 24 hours. It would be normal, maybe to we've just seen a lot of chop, so there just could be more chop with that. But let's look at the cheat sheet here that I have developed. We haven't looked at this for a few days, but things are starting to take shape and starting to play out. I have my swing trade here. And the swing trade on Tau is absolutely crushing. TP1, so 340 there for TP2. So that's the next one that's coming up there. Tau is at 308 right now, and we'll look at that chart in a little bit. But certainly, if you got in at my buy levels on that dip, your average was about 180, and so you're getting close to being almost up, double on that trade. So that was a great trade if you took it. The Solana trade is still playing out. Render has starting to move. You should be up. It's sitting at about $5 now, so you should be up at least about $1 on that trade. The Casper trade still accumulating there in the 15 to 14 cent range there. Injective is also up around $20. And so, that was where we'll look at Injective in a moment actually on that trade, but I believe that the take profit for Injective would be a little bit more challenging. When I do apologize. So if you're up on this one, you're up considerably. The first take profit there is $20. These are these shorter term swing trades where we're looking. The hodl there is where you hold and buy at these levels, and then you're selling at these levels on the way up. Okay, and then as you go up. So these are two different portfolios, and I do encourage you to have two different portfolios separate. I have Tau in my hodl here, but I also have Tau in my swing trade on two separate accounts on two different exchanges. There are some exchanges that allow for separation of accounts like KuCoin and Bybit, but you have to be outside the USA to enjoy that. So generally speaking, you just have them on two different exchanges, and that helps keep the two portfolios and the two bags separate. So Injective there with $20. I will start adding in and keeping this a little bit more up to date. Banana, we got down to 28 and 32, and it's now up at around 47. It did actually, I believe it hit the 60 already and has come back. So we got our first take profit. I reaccumulated, so I'll look to take profit again at 60. There's no rule on how many times you can take profit at these levels. If Tau hits to 320 and comes back to 300, I'm buying more at 300 and then taking profit at 320. If it goes from 320 to 340, I'm taking profit at 340. If it comes back to 320 or 310 or 300, I'm reaccumulating, I'm adding back. That's how the swing trading works, okay? And so I've got lots of other resources on here as well. Check out the cheat sheet. It's in the link in the description below. We're going to jump into the charts here, and we're going to start with Tau, as we were talking about here. So I gave the entries down here. I also gave the entries down here. So I said you had a second chance. In the Discord, I was saying you got a second chance here. You got a second chance. Well, you got a third chance and a fourth chance because we stayed in this little accumulation range. And I do still believe we're in this range. If we see here, I think we're going to top out at 320. And then I think we're going to have a pullback here, and we can reaccumulate back around the 300 or the 310 kind of area. So if we get lucky enough, we could come down and fill some of this wick down here lower, but certainly if we get in that 265 to 285. But I gave the buy signals down here. I gave some more buy signals down here. So if you're not making money in crypto, why not? There are some good charting going on, some good TA, some good buys and sells that I'm giving you that you can make money on here. So keep an eye on Tau. So if you're wanting to get back in again, maybe 300 would be the spot, 295 maybe there. If we look at, switch to the 4-hour time frame, so somewhere in the 290 to 300 region is probably going to be the entry for you. It'd be a fairly aggressive entry. I was giving this down at 265 to 285. So this region is still my accumulation range, and I'm still hopeful we do come back here. I love when coins swing around and you can really get some good value and then go back up again. All right, the USDD dominance, as you can see, this has been an absolutely fantastic chart to follow. When we see it starting to bottom out, you can see actually that started, it peaked up here in the dump. You can see it dumped and everybody took profits into USDT and panicked. And everybody's going, oh, now I have to buy back high because I panic sold out. We weren't one of those panic sold. I was in the Discord all day, almost for every minute of that time, just staying calm and telling people that I was buying the dip. I wasn't panic selling. These were good buy levels. And certainly those in the Discord who heeded that advice were able to pick up at the levels that I identified in the swing trade on the cheat sheet, and now we're starting to see a pullback here. It's nice to see this come back to about 4.78% on that. Also, the VIX is something to keep an eye on. So it absolutely peaked heavily, and now we're in a little bit of a pullback on this here. Let's change to a time frame that's a little zoom out here. So you can see that has come back. And so generally when the VIX drops, it's generally a good time to take some profit. And when the VIX is peaking, this is stock market related, of course, but I do think the VIX does also play a little bit of a role in the crypto market as well. But this is a good indicator to have when you're trading stocks or trading the market in general. We talked about the DXY the other day, and that have we broken down? We have broken down. So we broke down from this first level. Now we're retesting a support. If we continue to come down here, expect Bitcoin and the markets in general to continue to pump. The Dixie, as it's called, the DXY, and now we're going to jump into Bitcoin dominance. And so we did see Bitcoin dominance climb a little bit. Let's go to the daily time frame. So we do need to, for alts to have a proper run, because not all alts are running, only some alts are kind of pumping here in this run. We do want to see this breakdown. We do need to see this breakdown. Somebody asked the other day if Bitcoin dominance, if it was to go down, what would happen to the Bitcoin price? Well, the Bitcoin price Bitcoin dominance doesn't control the Bitcoin price. It really controls the altcoin price. It basically just means Bitcoin can go sideways, it can go up, or it can go down when Bitcoin dominance goes down. And the same thing, when Bitcoin dominance goes up, the Bitcoin price can actually go down. It can go anywhere. They're not correlated to each other. Really, when we look at Bitcoin dominance, we're trying to look at Bitcoin dominance, and that's kind of gives us a bit of an idea how the altcoin market might perform. So we're having a little bit of a pullback. I'd like to see some more lower lows created, some more lower highs and lower lows come down to this bottom of this trend line. But ultimately, I see the technical target being down to around about the 50 to 47% region here, which would be all the way down this area here is where I see this. And this would obviously, alts would be absolutely screaming by this point. All right, let's finish up with the Bitcoin chart here. So we've seen a nice pump. And so this is what I said yesterday. I said, again, this chart, that when you see this happening, what happens? When you see Bitcoin banging up against the 200 EMA, what usually happens? When you see Bitcoin banging up against the 200 EMA, what usually happens? It pushes and breaks out, okay? And that's exactly what happened, just as I said. Then what I said was I expected it to get rejected at the 50-day moving average, and that's exactly what happened, exactly as I said. Where are we going to go from here? Well, we want to see, if we're going to see a breakthrough the 50-day moving average, we have to see the similar kind of price action here. And we have seen, but you can see, look at these candle closes right up against it. You see that they're a wick. So there is some strong selling here. Now, this candle is right now closed pretty close to it. So if we see some further closes up here, and we don't see these long wick rejections, look at these long wicks, 1, 2, 3, then I believe that we're going to break above the 50-day moving average. So I'll be looking at this close. Is this close similar to this one, getting tighter and tighter like it was here. Look at these closes right on or above. We had a couple of rejections here, and people were freaking out going, oh no, we're going to the 40Ks. I was like, no, we're not. We're not going to the 40Ks. Look at this. This is bullish. This is bullish price action. These are bullish candles up against the 200 EMA on the daily. That's like, I'm going to break through. There's not a lot of, look at these small wicks here, small wick. I know we had a larger one here, but we still closed above or right on it. We're just butting up against it. You can see the difference here. So this is a very good close here, even though we didn't poke above it. And if we do close above it today, that would be absolutely bullish. And then I think we're off to the races up to this area that we broke down from. And we broke down from this area here around the 63 to 64K area. So we're going to find some resistance right here. So breaking this here, we'll push through. We're going to have some resistance of the trend line at 63. And then there's more resistance coming up. So we could bounce around this area for a little bit once we get above. But first of all, we got to get above, and we got to see how the price action relates to this 50-day moving average. Okay. We're going to wrap it up there, but as always, until the next time, happy trading.